They won't say it to your face.
No applause, no compliments, no recognition. And yet, something shifts. The way they look at you, the way they speak to you, the way they hesitate before crossing a line. Respect. Silent, unspoken, undeniable. And it happens the moment you stop chasing it. Most people spend their lives trying to be respected. They talk louder, they explain more, they defend themselves constantly. But the Stoics saw through this illusion. They understood something deeper. The more you try to force respect, the less of it you receive. Because respect is not given to those who seek validation. It is given to those who no longer depend on it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Not louder, not more aggressive, just more controlled. Today you'll learn 7 phrases, simple, quiet, almost invisible, but when used correctly, they change how people perceive you without you ever raising your voice. 1. I understand. This is where it begins. Not with dominance, but with restraint. I understand. 3 simple words, but almost no one uses them correctly. Because most people don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. They wait. They prepare their argument. They look for a weakness. A Stoic does the opposite. He listens fully. And when he says, I understand, he doesn't mean agreement. He means clarity. And clarity is power. This phrase lowers tension instantly. It disarms conflict, and it sends a message without saying it directly. I am not here to fight you. I am above that. And people feel it. 2. It doesn't concern me. Gossip spreads fast. Drama spreads faster. And most people, they can't resist it. They get pulled in, emotionally, mentally, socially. But a Stoic? He draws a line. It doesn't concern me. No anger, no judgment, just distance. As Epictetus taught, you become what you give your attention to. So when you refuse to engage in chaos, you separate yourself from it. And that separation creates something rare. Presence. People begin to notice you are not easily pulled, not easily influenced, not easily shaken. And that earns respect. 3. I'll think about it. Impulsiveness is weakness disguised as confidence. Quick answers, instant reactions, emotional decisions. Most people call this honesty. The Stoics called it lack of control. I'll think about it. This phrase creates space, and space is where power lives. Because when you pause, you show that you are not controlled by pressure, not controlled by urgency, not controlled by other people's expectations. You decide when to decide. And that kind of patience, it's rare, and rare is respected. 4. That's your opinion. Criticism, judgment, unwanted opinions. Most people react immediately. They defend, they explain, they try to change the other person's mind. But a Stoic understands something fundamental. You don't control what others think. So instead of fighting it, you acknowledge it. That's your opinion. No sarcasm, no aggression, just truth. This phrase draws a boundary without creating conflict. It says, you are allowed to think that, and I am not affected by it. And when people realize they can't provoke you, they stop trying. 5. I accept that. This is one of the hardest things to master. Acceptance. Not passive resignation, but active understanding. Something goes wrong. Plans fail. people disappoint you. The instinct is to resist, to complain, to blame, to fight reality. But reality always wins. I accept that. This phrase aligns you with what is real, and from that position, you become dangerous in the best way. Because while others are stuck complaining, you move forward, calmly, efficiently, without noise, and people notice. 6. I don't need to prove it. This is where silent respect is born. Most people are constantly performing, trying to show their worth, trying to prove their intelligence, trying to win every argument. But the more you try to prove yourself, the more you reveal insecurity. A Stoic doesn't chase approval. He knows, and that's enough. I don't need to prove it. This is not arrogance, it's certainty. And certainty is quiet. No explanations, no debates, no validation needed. And when people sense that, they stop questioning you. 7. No. The simplest word and the most powerful. Because most people are afraid of it. They soften it, they hide it, they avoid it. They say yes when they mean no. And every time they do, they lose a piece of themselves. A Stoic doesn't. No. Clear, calm, final. No excuses, no long explanations, just truth. Because boundaries create respect, and without boundaries, there is none. Respect is not built through force, not through volume, not through constant explanation. It is built in silence, in restraint, in discipline, in control. The Stoics didn't try to dominate others. They mastered themselves. And that mastery spoke louder than words ever could. Become someone who doesn't need attention to command respect.